The Masters saga began in 2016 with the first ever DreamHack Masters tournament. The event took place in Malmö, Sweden.
Every time I think about DreamHack Masters in Malmö, I just get like goosebumps and just good feelings.
With a year of struggle behind them, the home team Ninjas in Pajamas had a lot to prove.
We felt really confident, but then we started the game against Dignitas. Yeah, they totally just smashed us on overpass, I think like 16-1 or 16-2 or something like this. And I don't know why we played so badly the first game. I think we were super nervous or something maybe.
After a rough start in the group stage, NIP managed to advance to the playoffs, beating the ever-strong Danes Astralis.
Ladder position, if he peeks out now, it's Dupree dead. Headshot, and he fades away. They can't get the refrag. Kerrigan tries. All that serves to do is tell get right. He's there. Oh, they'll do it. Forrest closes it out. NIP move on in Sweden, and you can head back across the bridge, Denmark. Time is for Forrest. He's going to be going out into the open. He gets picked up from Pasha. 10 seconds. Bomb is going to get planted. And it's the AWP confrontation. Again, Pitt's been missing a lot of shots. This is his way to make amends from those previous mistakes. He lands the shot.
After knocking out Virtus Pro in the quarterfinal, NIP faced off against their fellow Swedish countryman Godsent for a spot in the finals.
And I remember GetRight aced or killed 4 guys. And I remember Twist was trying to knife him, and GetRight just turns around like 90 degrees and just one taps him.
GetRight's going to look to try and bag himself this kill until Electro does finally get it. He is going to find himself the receiving end of a battering. Here comes GetRight. He gets knifed but peeks around and destroys Twist.
In a stadium packed with fans, Godsent raises the stakes, forcing NIP into a third and final map.
Out the player. Forrest meanwhile, Connector again gets the bomb dropped. That's hilarious. That's absolutely brutal. Can he save the semi-finals? He's being tanked up from short, picked off.
After the win, there was only one obstacle left to complete this Cinderella story: Navi.
We got a really good start, and we just kept rolling, and the crowd just went nuts, and we could hear them screaming like NIP. I think we just went with the flow, and the crowd was super helpful. I think I remember like every single kill from that last round, just like everyone, I think GetRight got like the last 3 or something, and everyone is just screaming like he's plank, and I think everyone was just rushing to kill him in the end.
With another one, Flamey with an important refrag, but GetRight is there. Zeus and Edward are left, and they're simply out of time. 30 seconds here. NIP, what a story it's been already. GetRight, and here it comes, NIP.
These boxes that we were playing in, they're supposed to be sound is isolating, but I think we could hear the whole arena, like everyone was screaming. It's just amazing.
The first ever DreamHack Masters champion, the legendary Ninjas in Pajamas.
4 years ago, the first DreamHack Masters was conquered by the Ninjas in Pajamas. But now, it's time for a new legacy. Welcome to DreamHack Masters Winter 2020.
DreamHack Masters Winter is brought to you by Intel, Corsair, Monster Energy, and MSI.
This is DreamHack Masters Winter. I am Frankie Ward, and yes, I'm absolutely tiny because I am joined by the incredible Launders and Scrawny on the desk. Gentlemen, you scrub up so well that I'm embarrassed to look like this. Connor, what's it like to have flown in from Denmark this morning?
Feels great. Feels very much alive, I would say, Frankie. You know, we love to live and breathe Counter-Strike, so let's do it. Round 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Launders, yeah, you always look great. I feel like by the end of the week, maybe you could style me for the grand finals.
I hate to admit it, this is actually Pimp's jacket that I borrowed, as well as this. So this is brought to you by Pimp today.
I mean, you essentially live with the guys on the second desk crew now, so really, you're all swapping clothes. You're like sisters.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We just need some traveling pants.
Yeah, I'm keeping my clothes away from Mr. Banks. I have a feeling he might be wearing this top by the end of the week. It's the rules now, apparently. Well, I should tell you a bit more about DreamHack Masters. We have 4 different regions competing over the next 7 days. We're going to be covering Europe on our desk, and there'll also be some North American action at the end of each day. There are going to be 40 series in total of Counter-Strike, and we've got 2 best-of-5 finals on this stream as well. And I just really can't wait to get into it, because this is one of the closely contested tournaments of the season in Counter-Strike. So I think we should talk about why we get to do this as well, because our sponsors, they are marvelous. We couldn't do Counter-Strike without them. Monster Energy, Corsair, Intel, MSI, and the US Air Force as well. And also, we've got a second stream. And it's not a lesser stream. It's just as important as this one. The matches they have are just going to be as tense. They're also going to have interviews as well, and lots of analysis to break things down. And they've got fabulous pairs to do that, including the newly christened Big V and the Toxic Bald. They will be bringing you Heroic versus Contact to kick things off. Unfortunately, we can't say hello to them right now. I think they are prepping for the match, but I do know that Tom is sporting an absolutely fabulous jumper. So if you go to twitch.tv/DreamHackCS2, you'll be able to check it out and compliment him. Okay, send him our regards.
He actually asked to be rated, so watch the stream, tweet at him, let him know what you think about his jumper.
He really, really loves other people's opinions, doesn't he? Shall we take a look at the groups for Europe, gentlemen?
Why don't we?
All right, then. Right. Who is jumping out for you here in Group A, Launders? Take me through it.
Yeah, so obviously a super stacked group. Interesting storylines coming out of Cloud9 in particular, because they lost their first 4 maps, but then they won 2 series, and they almost beat Mouse yesterday at the Blast Showdown. Heroic lost to Mouse Sports as well, actually, on Mouse Sports' way to winning. And FaZe Clan are a team who, they look promising, but they've been slightly losing a lot of their series. And there was questions about Olaf that feel like are still standing. That will be answered here at this tournament.
And the Colossus will be facing off against the DreamHack Open November champions Gambit later today. And Scrawny, Group B.
Yeah, I mean, we look at Group B, Astralis always sticks up off the page. Team Liquid improving as well now that they've left North America and come over here. They were, I would say, the most successful North American team to make the chip straight out the gates, right? We lose Evil Geniuses entirely. We had the struggles from some of the Brazilians, and obviously, well, Furia are still in that group as well. So there's a lot of NA firepower over on that Group B, but I think they're fighting some of the best of Europe, and that's why they're going to have their hands full. Mouse Sports proved that they have the prowess just yesterday. G2 and Astralis. I mean, how do you argue against that? And then, of course, in each of these groups, there's still those question marks at the bottom.
Should we head over to the wild, wild west of the North American scene? Given that Furia and Liquid are over here, this is a really interesting one. I think Chaos might be the favorites here, which I definitely didn't expect to say at the beginning of this year.
We've got some homemade logos here in the North American group. Things have changed a little bit. A lot of the stronger competition has come on over. But I do want to give some credit to these teams. They've stepped up. They actually beat out Liquid. They beat out EG in recent important series to get to the IEM Global Challenge. They have shown a lot, and I think a lot of us in Europe are scoffing in European at the fact that they have, taken a map over Liquid. But then we see Liquid get to full strength, and then you start to wonder, how good are these teams? And we know from this region, they are actually living up to the challenge. So within their own groups, we might see some competitive matches.
I mean, I'm kind of gutted that Chaos and Triumph are both in Group A together, so that's going to be a really, really interesting group stage. I mean, I'm Team Mythic all the way, man.
Yeah, sure, why not? And also over in Group B, you've got the New England Whalers as well. So I think that with Chaos and Triumph on one side, that's the team to watch on the opposite side of the bracket. Good things to come.
Well, someone who I can't wait to watch this week is the marvellous Christopher Alessand, because we had a little bit of a challenge for him. Basically, the reason I'm desk hosting this week is because he took my job. And he has interviewed 7 of the best players at this tournament. The first one being Sum Dae-young from Team Spirit. So let's find out what happened when Chris spoke to Victor.
For almost my entire life, playing Counter-Strike was everything, and it was everything I dreamed of. I won trophies, traveled the world, and played in the biggest arenas. I spent my career as a player being asked the same stupid questions
How do you feel?
over and over
What went wrong?
and over again.
You had a terrible CT side. How did you turn it round to take the game? Why are Astralis the best team in the world?
But now I've decided to face a new challenge, to interview the players I once faced on the servers. Because if Frankie can do it, I mean, anyone can do it. Hi guys, today we're here with Sum Dae-young, or SDY, as you now is your nickname nowadays. I think it's pretty interesting to see your nickname was that called before, but you changed it to SDY, I think?
I make a decision to make it SDY so simple for every tournament and for things like that. But in my social medias and everywhere else, I have Sum Dae-young.
Do you feel proud of your career so far, and like where do you see yourself in the next 2 years or 3 years, if you're gonna say like that?
We have the same energy. The players want to be the top 1 team in the world, and we want to be the best players in the world together. We want to achieve everything that's possible in this game, and everybody has this feeling, so it's really good. Otherwise, Counter-Strike for me is my whole life, because I was playing Counter-Strike when I was 3 years old, because my dad have a computer club in our garage. I don't even remember myself, but I was already playing. And when I remember myself, I was 6 years old or something like that. I was already playing on LAN.
Oh.
Like 1.6, yeah. Back to the times. So I was playing Counter-Strike my whole life almost. And my mother was the best supporter in my whole life. He was always support me and believe in me. Even my other family, the whole Flame family of lawyers, they want me to be lawyer. I actually finished the lawyer university, and my mother always support me and believe me that I can do the things like that. And she was the main reason, like, for me to do this.
How did you take the decision of like really focusing on that when you had such a high degree of being like a lawyer? That's kind of a big things to choose from.
Yeah. So I don't want to choose at all for 2 years of my university, and on the second year, the end of the second year, I actually find out that I wanna try to do my best in Counter-Strike, and I put all my effort to this. And I was just visiting universe sometimes, things like that. I just wanted to finish it and just to keep my career ongoing.
So it was more like when you were attending university, you were basically just there because you're already studying it so long, but the thing was like CS has been like the main focus in a way for you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for taking your time. Good luck on DreamHack Masters now. I hope you're kicking ass there. I'm looking forward to see your games, and good luck on the games.
Thank you as well for your time. That was a great talk. I really appreciate it, actually.
Often when I think about Counter-Strike players and what they're going to do after their careers on the server end, I think, maybe they're going to go into their org or they're going to go into coaching. Sum Dae-young, he's sorted, Connor. He can just go and do law.
Yeah, simple as that, right? Just abandon ship and go do something even cooler. I mean, I'm not that surprised actually. I think he always kind of struck me as somebody with a good work ethic. I mean, don't get me wrong. The fact that he completed his degree and whatnot at the same time as playing, that's just all the more impressive. But Sum Dae-young's always been someone to watch.
I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed about everything I've accomplished in my life. And he has so much more of his career to go that who knows how good of a lawyer he would have been, but he could definitely be a top-performing Counter-Strike player.
He's still got many years left in the game, I believe. But right now we need to talk about what these teams are playing for, because this is... actually, you know what? We're going to look at the schedule because we're going to see which teams are playing, and then we'll talk about what they're playing for. So as you can see there, we're going to be kicking things off with FaZe Clan versus Spirit. Can they bounce back from disappointment in the DreamHack Open November finals? And can Shea Kirby work that magic aim. And of course, on the B stream, as I already mentioned, we've got Heroic versus Contact Gaming and Astralis versus Godsent. And then Blair and Dinko are going to be here for the second two matches of the day on the B stream. And also, now it's time to do the important bit, because all of the teams here are playing for precious ESL Pro Tour points. We are on the road to Katowice. This is one of two landmark events in the ESL Pro Tour, the second being Cologne. And these teams desperately want to either get a direct invite or at least get a spot in the play-ins. So 400 points are going to go to the top placing team in Europe at this event. And if you think about it, Europe, that is the toughest competition you have here. So it's not really a surprise, Launches, that that's where the most points go.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this is the double elimination bracket with the best teams in the world, and they're playing in a best-of-5 final. Those are going to be the most valuable 400 points you could possibly get, right? It's going to show that you are worthwhile of being in the top 6, plus you're most likely to get there very quickly, leapfrogging across a lot of the competition. We see there's a lot of parity here between, just the 800 region alone.
And we're going to look at North America and the other regions as well. Connor, this is something that's really interesting for me here, because Evil Geniuses, they're missing this event. They're not going to be at the next Open either. So in other words, this is where their points now end up before Katowice. Liquid, if they do well at this event, they could potentially overtake them for a direct spot.
Yeah, seriously. And I think that's obviously their biggest competitor. And then obviously the kind of saving grace for them is that there is a massive difference between the top 3 of this region and everybody who comes after. But it's for that reason that anybody in the NA tournament can actually slip into that 4th spot. It's not solidified at all.
And no matter what happens in terms of Katowice and where it's going to be, it is definitely happening. And this is the tournament all our teams want to go to. It's absolutely iconic, Launders. For you, just considering all the teams that you've seen so far, particularly in Europe, is there a team you think is probably a shoe-in right now for those 400 points?
A shoe-in? No, I wouldn't go that far. It's hard to call. Like, you want to talk about Astralis as would normally be a shoe-in, but since Zippix came in, like, their last series was strange. He top-fragged, Glaive bottom fragged, and they lost. And it was a really, really weird mix. So I don't want to call anything too soon. I think there aren't any shoe-ins at this event.
Are you 100% on Magisk in-game leading?
Yes, I think so. I think he had it as a role for long enough while Glaive was not a part of the team. I think Glaive coming back in actually might just help him continue to succeed with it, right? If you needed somebody over your shoulder to remind you and to help you improve as an IGL, wouldn't you want it to be Glaive?
To be honest, yeah, absolutely, 100% every single time. So you can catch up with Astralis versus, they're going to be on the B stream later on today, because actually it's going to be Heroic versus Contact first on the B stream. But from us, right now, it's going to be FaZe versus Team Spirit after the break.